The Asics Novablast 6 is finally here and I've managed to get my hands on a pair. Over the past few weeks, I've put just over 100 kilometers into these across a mix of different runs and surfaces. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how they've held up. Because let's be honest, the Novablast 5 was arguably one of the best running shoes we've had in recent years. So without further ado, let's get into it, starting with the price. The Novablast 6 comes in at £140 here in the UK, and yes, I paid for this entirely with my own money. Asics haven't sent me this shoe, so everything you'll hear today is completely my own opinion. As always, I choose to buy local, and I picked these up from Up and Running here in Cheltenham where I live. Now these guys don't sponsor my channel in any way, but I genuinely believe in supporting local running stores. Being able to try shoes on before you buy just makes such a big difference. So big shout out to Pete and the team at Up and Running here in Cheltenham. So in terms of what this shoe is designed for, the purpose then, this is very much your daily trainer. It's built for easy runs, everyday mileage, and it can absolutely handle longer runs as well. Looking at the stats then, in my UK size 10, the weight comes in at around 268 grams. Not the lightest, but definitely on the lighter side for what you're getting. Stack height sits at 41.5 millimeters with an 8 millimeter drop from heel to toe. There aren't multiple whips available, unfortunately, here in the UK, but there are a different number of colorways, and I went for the Midnight with Energy Aqua, which I think looks pretty smart. Asics say this shoe is designed for neutral runners or those who slightly underpronate. Now, in terms of your midsole, you've got a dual foam setup. You've got the FF Blast Plus cushioning combined with that FF Turbo Squared, which has been introduced to give a bit more bounce and energy return. If you want a proper spec review on how this shoe checks out, check out Ed Budd's video. He's much better at all the spec and techie stuff. So what's actually changed then from the Novablast 5 then? Well, first up, the price is up by about £5 and the weight is marginally less. There's a new woven engineered upper, closer to something like what you get in the Superblast 2, which feels notably different straight away. The outsole now uses Asics grip for improved traction, which is a big update. And the biggest update of all is the foam, with the new FF Turbo Squared section in the forefront to add a bit more pop, similar to the Asics premium models. They've removed the heel and tongue pull tabs as well, which some people might miss this, some people just won't care like me. There's more padding around the heel, and the heel geometry itself has been adjusted slightly with more foam on the lateral side, potentially helping those heel strikers. So those are the key changes, but what really matters is how it feels on the run. As I mentioned at the start, I've put just over 100 kilometers into this shoe. That's across 8 runs in total, 4 easy runs, 2 longer efforts, 1 tempo session, and 1 all-out park run effort. Surfaces included road, gravel, grass, and a little bit of light trail as well. The only thing I haven't tested yet is running in the wet, which I know was a bit of a concern with the Novablast 5. So let's start with the positives. And first up is that fit and the comfort. This is where the shoe really does stand out. That new upper feels fantastic. It wraps the foot really well, feels secure without being restrictive, and I had absolutely no issues with lockdown or any heel slippage at all. It just disappears on your foot, which is exactly what you want from your daily trainer. Another big plus is the versatility. Despite being positioned as an easy day shoe, it can absolutely pick up the pace when you need it to. I did a full send park run effort in these and ran a 17:56. Now for me, that's nowhere near a PB pace, but considering it was on a mixed terrain surface, I was really impressed. The shoe handled it comfortably, it didn't feel sluggish and didn't hold me back in any sense. It's definitely not a race day shoe by any means, but it's more than capable than you might expect. Grip is also a big improvement. That Asics grip outsole feels much more reliable, especially through bends and on varied surfaces. It's definitely a step up from the previous version. I also really like the weight. Yes, we're in an era where brands are constantly chasing lighter and lighter shoes, but what Asics have done here is a balance of weight and comfort, and they've done that really well. You've still got a cushioned protective ride, but without feeling heavy or cumbersome. And then there's the ride itself. Compared to the Novablast 5, it's definitely a bit firmer, particularly in the heel section where there's some more of that FF Blast Plus Max foam. But for me, that's not a bad thing. What it does is create a really nice contrast with Asics lineup. If you look at something like the Asics Novablast 3, that's your super soft, high cushioned, max effort, long run super trainer. The Novablast 6, on the other hand, feels like the perfect daily companion. It's slightly firmer, a bit more controlled, and ideal for soaking up your everyday miles. For me personally, I'd save the really long runs and faster efforts for something like the Superblast 3 or the Megablast. But for everything else, the Novablast 6 just gets the job done and does it really, really well. Now we've got to move on to the negatives, and there are a few. The first thing, and it's a bit of a minor annoyance, is that slappy sound. Now if you've used the Superblast 2, you'll probably know what I mean. There's quite a noticeable slap when your foot hits the ground. I suspect it's something to do with that new FF Turbo Squared foam that sits in the forefoot. It doesn't affect performance in any way, but it's just a bit annoying. Another point is that stack height, and when you're cornering, over 40 millimeters of stack is quite a tall shoe, and while the outsole coverage helps, you don't get that 100% locked in confidence when taking corners at higher speeds, especially those tighter corners. It's not bad, but it's something you probably do need to be aware of. And then a very small nitpicky one from me is the branding on the midsole. It says FF Turbo Squared on the side, but that section is actually the FF Plus Max foam. The FF Turbo Squared sits underneath. It's a minor detail, but it's something I've noticed in other shoes too, like the Nike Vomero 18. Now let's talk about the Novablast 6 and how it compares to some rivals. Starting with the Adidas EVO SL, a really popular shoe, but for me, the narrow arch didn't quite work, so I mainly used it for faster sessions. Compared to the EVO SL, the Novablast 6 is slightly slower, definitely slower in fact, no doubt, but it's more comfortable, much more comfortable, and way more versatile. You can often find the EVO SL on discount, probably for around £100, but if I had to pick one, I'm taking the Novablast 6 for its all-round use. Then of course there's the Nike Vomero 18. This shoe I've really grown to like, and it's probably my go-to for easy days. It's more comfortable, it's reliable, and great for steady miles, but it's very much an easy run shoe. I wouldn't push the pace in it at all or use it for tempo efforts, and that's where the Novablast edges it. It gives you that extra versatility, easy miles, and the ability to pick things up when you need to. So that wraps up the Novablast 6 then. Now it doesn't completely reinvent the wheel, but it didn't need to do that. The fit is much better, the grip has improved, the ride is ever so slightly firmer, but more controlled. If you love the Novablast 5, I think you'll also love this one. 100 kilometers done, let's see how they are after the 500 kilometer mark. Now that's all from me today guys, thank you as always for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.